Welcome, welcome. We are glad you are all here. Dottie decided she would take her post-birthday day off. Her kids are here, so they stayed up till 4 in the morning, she said, doing fun things. So she's still sleeping right now. So
the party was at Donnie's.
So while she's off having birthday celebrations, and obviously we have back to schools and so on and so forth, we will start with our announcements this morning. So, Eileen, do you have announcements for yourself?
Morning.
Morning.
Yes, actually this coming Thursday we're doing the second round of the class Becoming the Walking Prayer. And really it deals very much with the idea that a prayer is a communication between ourselves and the Creator as we envision, however we envision Creator. And the idea of being a walking prayer is to actually be able to manifest within yourself the energy of a prayer. Holding that space for others, holding that space for yourself, or simply as a meditative practice. So that's going to be this Thursday here at 6:30, and everybody's welcome, and we ask a $10 contribution, and you know, it really is a very cool topic that means a lot to me, and you know, it's something I really enjoy sharing. The other thing is that on September 22nd, which is the night of the Druid Grove meeting, we are having our celebration of the autumn equinox. And our celebrations really are a lot of fun, and we have some great food. We have some really cool discussions regarding what that particular season means. And you know, it's called the light of the water. And so it is a connection of that place of moving, transitioning from one season to another, and it really is a lot of fun. So if you have any questions about that, please see me. That's also going to be right here Thursday at 6. Thursday evening, it's on the 22nd. That's right, Tuesday at 6:30. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
And I just want to announce, way ahead of time, I know, that our Light of Lights candle lighting ceremony is December the 9th. Put it on your calendar. Second Wednesday in December. This will be our 30th year of doing the Light of Lights candle lighting ceremony, which is a ceremony of healing and love that connects us with our loved ones who have died, and also connects us with each other in grief. It's a very powerful ceremony. And we also have our Age Rejuvenation Retreat on October 23rd. So Friday, October 23rd, and Jan
And she needs volunteers for all of the above.
I need volunteers for all of the above, and Jan and I are working on a great art project for the Rejuvenation Retreat.
Deb,
You want to do it there?
wherever you're comfortable.
I'm Dr. Deb Santer. I have an office here. I do chiropractic and nutrition. And the announcement that I have really mixed feelings about. I'm moving my office. October 1st, I'm moving to Hands-On Healing in Campbell. I just need to expand with more space. But but boy, it was a tough decision. And I hadn't even thought about it until she asked me to move into her space, and I was like, oh, I really do kind of need to expand. So just wanted to let you all know I'm still doing the same thing there. I'm just going to be in Campbell instead of here. And I can't come to church a lot on Sundays, but I will come when I can. Because I work on Sunday morning somewhere else at another church. So, but I will come when I can, and I just want to let you know I've had so much fun here. So much fun. And I loved being here. It was really hard.
Take our love and support with
We always bless people to follow their path and expand and grow. We'll love you just the same. Good. April.
Two announcements. One is I have a women's gathering next Saturday night, different than Dr. Eileen's, to celebrate the fall equinox. It's called Maban in the pagan and goddess tradition, and we will be working on really honoring the gratitude we have to have a safe sanctuary to live in and be protected, and do some ritual and celebration around that. And we'll go home with a little something, something that we'll create. So I'm inviting the women to come. Also, there's a goddess retreat coming up October 2nd through 4th. Again, for women only, and if you have more questions about that, you can see me afterwards, or there are flyers all the way in the other room. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to invite you to the best show never seen. It is called Fiorello. It opens on Thursday. Well, it opens on the 19th. This coming week, correct. If you wonder where the name Fiorello comes from, you've heard the last name before. His last name was LaGuardia. He was one of the mayors of New York City, and this is who this show is written about. I'm a member of the cast, and there's several of them. It's a great show. So if you're looking for something to do on the weekends between now and October 10th, you've got to see this show. I have information here for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Keith, if you would be so kind as to tell us about the afternoon workshop.
This afternoon I'm doing a dowsing workshop, beginning dowsing, introduction with the tools, the equipment, and what they mean. This won't turn you into a dowser any more than being introduced to a piano will make you a concert pianist. You got to practice. So it's from 1 to 3. It'll be in here because I can find an outlet in there for my projector.
It's cooler in here.
Yes, it's nicer in here.
Yeah.
Better energy.
Absolutely.
1 to 3.
Announcements, anybody else? Wonderful. So we have, of course, we have wonderful gentle yoga on.
Go ahead. I have one more, but I'll.
Okay. On Wednesday evenings from 7:30 to 9, and on Thursday mornings from 10:30 to noon. And it's only $25 for 3 sessions, what a bargain. And that's with our own wonderful Laura Marshall, right here in this office. I love it. It's an announcement that Mercury goes retrograde September 17th through October 9th.
Wow.
On Monday, September 21st, with our wonderful Reverend Glory. She is going to be doing M&Ms, which is mindfulness and meals, talking about what we eat and what we put in our bodies. And of course, on Mondays, we have the Parents of Murdered Children, which meets here in this on Monday evenings. And on October 8th, we're going to be having from 6:30 to 8:30 on 2 Thursdays, how to read Akashic Records. And
When is that?
Thursday, October 8th and 22nd, how to read Akashic Records, assessing the archive of the soul and its journey. And it's by Linda Howe. And I think it's facilitated also with Reverend Julie Hawkins.
What's the charge for it?
It's in your thing. It doesn't actually have a charge on it.
It doesn't say, but there's a website, or you can give a call. I'll try and find out for you. Also, Dottie's doing home parties, so if you know of anybody who wants to gather 5 friends and get together, she'll come and do personal readings at someone's house. And Thursday, October 1st, 8th, and 22nd, Reverends Mary Gary and Barbara Richmond will be doing classes on pastoral counseling at our UCM office.
Donna, can I mention something? When Mary announced this last week, she said there were 22 seats, and I was the 13th one to sign up for this. So there are limited seats, and there's also going to be a binder.
Perfect. So call the UCM office if you'd like to sign up. And this Tuesday, the 15th, is our wonderful Men of UCM from 7 to 9. April.
So I wanted to just thank everyone for your loving support and energy. Last September 2nd, when Pico, California, and PACT went to Sacramento, Regrettably, I didn't get arrested. We wanted to be arrested. We were trained.
We would have bailed you out.
We were trained in civil disobedience. We were trained in Martin Luther King's techniques. We wanted to really make a statement. We wanted the governor to change his position about signing the change in the profiling attitude of law enforcement by creating record keeping, because right now there's no record keeping if they just stop someone and don't arrest them. So they can stop you, they can harass you, they can put handcuffs on you, they can put you in the back of the police car, they can frighten you and tell you you're going to be gone to jail, and then they can decide to let you go, and there's no record of that. And we want that to be recorded as much as if you're arrested. So Governor Brown had said it would take an act of God for him to sign the bill, and the Senate and the Assembly have passed it. It's now on the governor's desk. We tried to make a statement. He wasn't there. We wanted to get arrested because we wanted really this statement to be made. This is life and death for people. We don't want people just to get shot just because this is where it all comes from. And but we were able to make it so that we got press. We were able to really show the truth of it all. And but I didn't get arrested. So, but thank you for all the protection. Yeah, we had over 800 people there.
But she was on social media there with her face right in the front protesting.
Yeah,
So.
trying to make a statement. So thank you for everyone's protection and prayers. And I hope we're waiting to see. And if you feel called, call the governor's office and support SB AB 953. Thank you.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, now is our fun time, and the volunteer for this week we don't see frequently, but behind the scenes he's very much here and assisting Dottie on multiplicities of projects. So Paul, would you come on up? Paul comes and helps Dottie when she needs to. Can you come and look at this? Because I don't know how to measure this, or I don't know how to fix this.
Are you talking about me?
So, like I said, we don't always see him, but he's here frequently helping Dottie, helping our church, helping us assess the best things for what needs fixed, or a toilet's broken, or...
And now one by yourself.
And then this is a giving angel, which is still on the altar.
Yep, this is for the
wall,
gallery.
the honor wall.
Yay!
It's actually my pleasure, so.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
I've got to get you in the choir. He's got a beautiful voice.
That would
Hear
be
that voice?
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can eat area too.
That's right.
I don't know
That's
about
right.
that.
So Jacqueline, if you'd like to go ahead and start with, we'll begin with community prayers.
Yes.
So for anyone who has a prayer or a need for themselves or someone else.
I really need to put a big shout out for all of our firefighters and our citizens with
Yeah.
Valley Fire. I've been in contact with them. 4 firefighters have been very badly injured. They're going to be okay, but they're very badly injured. We need to send energy to our Mother Earth and Mother Nature and ask her to be gentle.
And as of last night, we have a big fire in Lake County.
Right.
That's the Lake County fire is the one I'm
And then we
talking
have the
about.
Butte County.
And then we have the
Yeah,
Butte
don't
fire.
forget
which
about the
they-
Butte. They've got the Lake County fire all over the TV this morning, but they're forgetting about the Butte fire.
Exactly right. So
Both
both
very
fires,
bad.
both are really
So
bad.
for all of the people,
For all
for the
the
people,
citizens.
the animals.
The animals.
They're trying to evacuate the animals.
There's also
They're evacuated.
Sequoia, Kings Canyon National Park area.
Where is that?
Oh, yeah.
Near central San Joaquin
Central
Valley,
California?
just above, yeah,
Okay.
above
So let's go down.
They don't want
Yeah.
it, they don't want
Dark
the
County.
trees to be gotten, so they're spraying water, trying to stop it so that, you know, the trees, ancient
Exactly.
trees will still be there.
They're evacuated. They evacuated a big wildcat rescue this last week.
So let's just take a nice
It's
deep.
possible too that Harbin Hot Springs may have burned.
Yes, it has.
It has.
So anybody who had been there and who really enjoyed the energy there, you know, just sending that good healing energy, because after the fire, things are going to grow back.
They will.
And so, you know, just welcoming that as a part of the transformation.
Exactly. And holding our peaceful energy and breath and our connection with our Mother Earth. So important right now. And also healing for all of our responders that are doing the very best they can.
Yeah. Where we were last weekend at our family reunion picnic is in Pine Grove, which is just above Jackson. And they've been without power now for 3 days. Our other friends that were there, they are packed and ready to evacuate. They're near Jackson, Rancheria. Erin Sullivan, who many of us know,
Yes.
she just relocated up near Big Trees in Arnold, and so they're on evacuation notice. Murphy is on evacuation notice. So lots of people being displaced in their homes and lives toyed with.
Jackson Rancheria has completely turned into an evacuation center.
Correct.
They're giving away food, clothing, place to stay, you name it, everything.
Right.
So also acknowledging how crisis can bring community together and develop a power that might not existed before. So remembering fire is transformative.
Exactly.
Fire can do amazing, powerful, transformative, and transmuting things. So let whatever that message is that we need to get from her fire, that we all receive it and really allow it to transmute whatever aspects of our lives need to be transmuted. The communities are coming together and supporting each other in a way they weren't before. So there is a purpose, and let the purpose be as soon as it can be, so that it can then diminish and that healing happen.
And we always know there's trees and plants and things that only grow from the heat of fire.
Sure. That's right.
So for that, Donna.
I would like the community to keep my youngest daughter, Angela, in prayers. She's really depressed, but in denial. She's out of balance, and physically and emotionally, she's withering down to like anorexic weight. And she's feels compelled to stay in a relationship that's emotionally and physically abusive. And we're holding a safe place for her at home. But she still feels compelled to keep going back. And so I just ask everybody to keep her in their prayers. Her name's Angela.
And keep you and
Yeah.
our prayers too. When our kids are hurting, we're hurting.
For Kevin and my brother James, they're continuing heart health recovery. Kevin is still in rhythm, and he managed to get his meds, so that's a great thing. My brother has been approved for social services, and he's also going to be seeing a cardiologist coming this next week and getting his medical care squared away up here. So very thankful. Thank you so much for your prayers.
Continued prayers for my friend OJ. She actually was supposed to go to New Orleans for like a second opinion on her cancer. Apparently she's developed an infection, so she's back in Kaiser, San Jose.
I would like to put my older brother, Anthony, in. He is this week going in for an evaluation. His doctors believe he has colon cancer. And he's got a lot of health problems in addition to it. So, you know, this is a very difficult time for him, both physically and emotionally. So I would just like to put him and his children and, you know, and all of us as his family, you know, to be able to be there to support him in the best way possible. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody for their prayers this last week. asked for prayers to help me quit smoking and help me stay quit smoking, and it's been a little over a week now. And I found a little app with some help from back there, and it says that I've been 202 hours smoke-free.
All right.
And I saved $35. I have not smoked 126 cigarettes.
Wow. Right.
And I've regained 50.59 hours of my life. Thank you, everybody, for that's a really cool app. Thank you.
Mel, can you guys let us know about that, because I think that would be a great one to advertise for people who are trying to quit smoking, and I know of some folks. So, but that sounds like really encouraging.
Yeah. It's smoke-free beta.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just really cool. And there's even a little graph for like your cravings and how strong they were.
Great. Nice. Congratulations.
Good job, Mel.
Now I have to stay quit to keep.
Yay.
Great.
You look like you're already losing weight, too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I wish the scale said that.
Who cares what the scale says? We're comfortable in the body.
So your affirmation and the scale now reflects that.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, let's just take, Clyde, please, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know this person didn't ask me to put this prayer out, but anyway, there was that collapse on the
Rebecca.
collapse.
Oh, yes.
On that apartment where these people went out and
Yeah, the balcony.
there was only one person that survived,
Yeah.
and that person is going into deep depression because he feels guilty that he was the only one that survived.
Survivor's remorse.
Even though he didn't ask for it.
That's okay. We did the right thing.
Mhm.
That's right. Thank you for it. Thank you, everyone. Yes.
His spirit asked. Because he got the message.
Yes.
Yeah, the higher.
Well, I would like to ask everybody's prayer support, because I'm having a hard time where I'm living, and dealing with a person who has his own problems and takes it on everybody around him is pretty awful. And I'm trying to move out of there, and it's very difficult. For me, it's still about, there's a lot of things I have to, put in line so I can move. And it's not other than move, it's packed up, the change address, so I do all of that, but I have a lot of medical things I gotta do also. And, wow, it's almost overwhelming. But I got Paul to help me go through it.
You got all of us.
And you got us too.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, just asking for support because
Steve, what'd you get? Don't my chair, please.
I'm like almost ready to, no, pack it in and give up. I'm not gonna give up. So I need to get out of where I am because it's bad for my spirit. I know that I need to get out of it. Thank you.
We're all here supporting you with that.
Absolutely, David.
Absolutely. Will Hoffman.
I'd like to ask prayers for my wife. She's losing her sight, her hearing. She broke her leg last year. It isn't healing right. Her knee is still your problems. And she's having problems. We're working on it.
You're down.
Carol.
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 She was 95 August 26th.
Oh, those are hard.
I forgot one when I was up here earlier. I'd like to ask for prayers for my landlord, who is and was landlord for a couple people here. I just found out from the neighbor yesterday that he's in his 90s, I believe, and was just diagnosed with leukemia, and they gave him about a year to live. So I'm not sure if you knew about that. I just heard last night. So yeah, so prayers for Chris.
And your prayers create such miracles. My cousin, who I shared with you 2 weeks ago, had emergency surgery and then had a second emergency surgery and then went on life support at 49 years old. And once you guys started your prayers, she turned around, she's off a ventilator. She's eating,
Yes.
which was, she had stomach surgery, so she hadn't had anything for over 2 weeks.
Wow.
And she's quit smoking as a result of being in the hospital. It was forced, but she's gonna continue to stay non-smoking when she's released from the hospital, which is huge. So your prayers really do create miracles, because once you guys started on the prayer list, she went from being 100% on a ventilator to 40% the next day, to weaning off and off within 48 hours. So, and it was a little scary for me because her brother is who we just lost in December at 53 with a similar situation. So I was concerned when she went on a ventilator that she might follow him down the same path. So thank you for your prayers. Let's just take a deep breath. And as we breathe in, we call all of the people in the prayer bowl here on the altar. We call all of the prayers in the prayer bowl at our UCM office. We call all of your prayers asked and your silent prayers. We pray for all of those who are fighting the battle with cancer. Caretakers and the families. We pray for our planet and all of the firefighters and first responders and ambulance dispatchers and everyone who supports the firefighters. Great Spirit of the North, invisible Spirit of the air, and of the fresh, cool winds. O vast and boundless Grandfather Sky, your living breath animates all life. Yours is the power of clarity and strength, power to hear the inner sounds, to sweep out the old patterns, and to bring change without challenge. The ecstasy of movement and dance. We pray that we may be aligned with you, so that your power may flow through us, is expressed by us, for the good of this living planet and all living beings upon it. Great Spirit of the West, Spirit of the great waters, of rain and rivers, lakes and springs. O Grandmother Ocean, matrix, womb of all life. Give us power to dissolve boundaries, to release holdings, power to taste and to feel, to cleanse and to heal. Great blissful darkness of peace, we pray that we may be aligned with you, so that your powers may flow through us and be expressed by us for the good of this planet and all the living beings upon it. O great Spirit of the East, radiance of the rising sun, Spirit of new beginnings, O Grandfather Fire, great nuclear fire of the sun, power of life energy and vital spark, power to see far and near. Imagine with boldness, power to purify our senses, our hearts and our minds. We pray that we may be aligned with you, so that your powers may flow through us and be expressed for us, for the good of this planet and all living beings upon it. O great Spirit of the South, protector of the fruitful land and of all green and growing things, the noble trees and grasses, Grandmother Earth, soul of nature, great power of the receptive, of nurturance and endurance, power to grow and bring forth flowers of the field, fruits of the garden. We pray that we may be aligned with you, so that your powers may flow through us and expressed by us, and for the good of this planet Earth and all the living beings upon it. We ask that the Great Spirit bring us gentle, steady rains and snows to protect our forests, our animals, the people, their homes, and resolve this drought. We ask that you protect the warriors who fight the fires of nature. We ask that the weather change to assist the firefighters in bringing control to all fires being fought at this time. That shifted the energy, didn't it? And before I introduce our wonderful speaker, please keep in mind that we're having multiple planetary changes this month. It's a time of great change. So please use lots of protection and patience with yourself, with other people, and don't fight the change. Allow yourself to go with it, honor it, and let it keep flowing on by you. So, and if you need any help, call us, of course. And it's my pleasure today to introduce our wonderful speaker today is Keith Smyth. Do you pronounce it Smyth?
Nope, it's Smith. There's no E on it.
Just right.
There's no E on the
Say
end.
Smith.
Smith.
There's no E on it.
Okay, very good. So he is the Vice President of the San Jose chapter of the American Society of Dowsers. He's also been a UCM minister since 1978, just a day or two, huh?
Yeah.
And so his special studies, of course, he's going to share with us some of his great knowledge on dowsing. He's also studied HINA and Science of the Mind principles, as well, of course, as our wonderful UCM. So, welcome,
Thank you.
Keith. Yay.
Thank you. Just set that down there. It was quite a meditation. Now I gotta try to get back. Okay. How many of you are aware of what dowsing really is?
No.
Okay. What we're talking about today, I was asked to say, can dowsing be related to spirituality? But before I get into that, I'd like to do the history of dowsing.
Wonderful.
Now, it's kind of fascinating. In the ancient art, dowsing has been practiced throughout the millennia by natives. In 1949, a party of French explorers in the Atlas Mountains of North Africa found some caves. When they went in the back, they found paintings on the walls. They found an art gallery. Not only did they locate an art gallery devoted exclusive to the depictions of spacecraft, ETs, they also found a remarkable huge wall painting of a dowser holding a forked branch, being surrounded by a group of admiring tribesmen. What I want to know is, how did they find out that that branch would find water? Now, the human race is an incredible, inventive bunch, but that's a stretch. In ancient Egypt, they have 400-year-old temple wall photographs of 400-year-old walls showing the priest using ceramic pendulums. In China, they have Emperor Yu ruled China 2,500 years ago. In his hands, he's holding a rather bulky turn-prong device that resembles a Y rod. And in the Bible, there's many, many passages. Really, both Moses and his son Aaron used dowsing devices referred to as the rod. Hey, yeah, didn't that the one that Moses smacked that rock with and water spraying out? In 1956, I went to North Africa, to Wheelers Air Force Base, and I met a kid that had been sent to Kansas in the late 40s, early 50s by his father, who was one of the tribesmen. He was a sheikh. This kid was so homesick that he could hardly stand it. So I take him out on the prairie and let him cry, because it wasn't manly to cry, you know. Well, we got to be great friends. And Hakeem, I'm in a souvenir shop in Cairo, Egypt, with a couple other Air Force buddies and our sergeant. We were on our way to Wheelers. And somebody walks up and looks at me and says, "Keith?"
Wow.
It was Hakeem.
Oh.
Now, Greeley County, Kansas, Cairo, Egypt.
Wow.
What are the odds?
Wow.
Well, I had to go out and be with the tribesman and meet his father. They explained what Moses did. Out in the desert, there are these copper tanks that are the remnants of old volcanoes, the hearts of the volcanoes, where the copper had melted. Now, they're hollow. What happens is in the heat of the day and in the cold of the night, they will condense moisture inside and they'll collect it. Moses knew this.
Wow.
And their shaman, one of the mullahs, took us out to the desert. He showed me. He said, "You see this rock?" He banged on it, and it went cling, cling, metallic. He took a little hammer and he goes clink, 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 plunk, wham, and water comes out. Tasted terrible, but it was water. Moses was no dummy. Okay, Nebuchadnezzar, whatever it is, told the captivity of the Jews, they consult their pieces of wood, then make wands and make pronouncements with them. There's on and on and on. Now, Herbert Clark Hoover, London's 1912 edition of Mining Magazines published the first translation of a Latin opus into English. It was called On Metals, in praise of Dowsing, which had first been published 356 years earlier. The translations were a professional American mining engineer and his wife. The engineer later gained fame and won notoriety as the 31st President of the United States, Herbert Hoover and his wife. God knows, had President Hoover been an expert dowser himself, he might have predicted, therefore, and prevented the great stock market crash. No, he just translated the book. Okay, that's enough history. Can dowsing be related to spirituality? And now, before we start on how it relates to spirit and spirituality, I'd like to take a couple of minutes and talk about visualization. With the aid of one superconscious or higher self, mind, using a suitable device, one may gain unseen information at a distance. How many of you use a pendulum? Good. Talking to converts. Good. Even through material barriers about a person, creature, object, substance, place, or thing beyond the limits of one's five senses, or the so-called logical thinking mind. Now, this is being very, very polite. I prefer to call it the idiot behind the eyeballs. Dowsing is a form of prayer. Now, it's a physical form of prayer. Well, what is spirit? Spirit is conscious energy. That's a fascinating statement. Stop and think about it. Conscious energy. Well, if that's true, and it is, what's the human body? It's the vehicle that the conscious energy uses to maneuver around the Monopoly board. This is the Monopoly board. This is the Monopoly piece. If that's true, and it is, why can't the conscious energy just manipulate the energy inherent in the physical universe to create what it desires? Because it does. The conscious energy in the physical body reacts with the energy in the physical universe to create an object or function in the energy inherent in the physical object or function. It's been established by nuclear scientists, specifically elementary particle physicists, that the energy in our universe is subject to our mental expectations of it. Oops. It was discovered that in blind tests that an elementary subatomic particle would behave as either a wave or a particle, depending on who was doing the test. It was scientific proof that our human minds can affect the most basic level of the material universe. The mental expectations of the scientist who performed the test quite clearly demonstrated and determined the actual state of being of the most basic building block of our physical universe. Obviously, that was a very hard pill for the scientific community to swallow. The premise was tested and retested and tested yet again, and yet, by George, it still worked. Blind tests were performed. That meant we put Harry in the driver's seat to run the particle accelerator, and we didn't tell him what was going on. We don't just see what registers on the scope. Well, evidently, Harry had his preferences as to whether this would be a particle, would behave as a wave or a particle that day. Sure enough, it behaved according to his preferences. Well, let's do a double blind. Let's go get Bill to get Sam to run the test. We won't tell either one of them what's going on. And we're going to do it in a Faraday cage in case there's ESP going on. You know what a Faraday cage is?
Yes.
For those of you that don't, it's a metal screening room that is grounded, and it's very hard to get thoughts out of there. There are some few that can do it, very few. And we won't tell either of them what's going on in case there's ESP happening. Oops, same result. There was a significant realization which bore out in scientific terms of what has been understood in many religions and philosophical traditions for centuries. This was that our state of mind, influenced by our faith in things unseen, can affect outcomes in the world around us. Weren't we just doing that? I think it's called prayer.
Yes.
And dowsing. Here's another question, one so far science says it cannot answer. What is thought? What is emotion? Actually, what's taste? They can measure the electrical impulses out of the taste bud, but they can't tell you what taste is. How is touch felt? Well, they can measure the electrical currents running up and down your arm when you touch something, but they can't tell you how it feels. Well, what's prayer and how does it work? Prayer is the most classic and instinctive use of the metaphysical influence. Every civilization in history has acknowledged the need for it, simply to keep their lives running. It is instinctive use and is evident under conditions of extreme stress, fear, or pain. One doesn't have to think about prayer. And I can guarantee you this. There are no atheists in a foxhole in combat. I've been there. Depending on how completely we believe this power can and will assist us determines how well prayer will be answered for us. This is faith. The stronger and clearer the faith, the more immediate and dramatic is the result. Now, this isn't a forum to debate the relative merits of various perceptions of God, goddesses, spirits, Jehovah, Allah, the hairy muffin, cosmic thunder, or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't care. Just call. In metaphysics, what you call your higher power is irrelevant. It doesn't matter as long as you call. Metaphysically, you can even consider it an inanimate force. May the force be with you, which keeps the universe from collapsing into chaos. What you expect of it, what you believe of it is capable of, is how you believe it feels about you is relevant. How it feels about you. You know, guilt comes into a lot of that to keep that feeling away, so watch it. Okay, how does dowsing fit into this picture? Dowsing is a function of part of the conscious energy, the part we call the unconscious level of mind, the part of our mind that operates our bodies or our memories. The unconscious mind is capable of manipulating energy in ways we cannot describe. Any description we make is usually terribly limiting, and usually wrong. Trying to describe the functions inherent in the unconscious mind is like attempting to describe wet to a being that lives in a reality that has absolutely no liquid. Think about it. Describe in such a way that that being feels what wet feels like. Better yet, those of you that haven't been in combat, have someone try to describe to you what a bullet feels like when it goes past your ear at supersonic speed. In such a way you feel it. You won't do it. Perhaps possibly in the function of the unconscious mind, consciously we'll never know. Mind is pure energy. Brain is the power plant for the energy. Now, as I said at the beginning, dowsing is a physical form of prayer. When you're holding your dowsing instruments, be it the pendulum, L rod, Y rod, bobber, or whatever else you use to dowse with, you are in a mental state of pure focus. Your unconscious mind is focused on detecting the object or radiation, whatever you're dowsing for. Your unconscious mind is focused on the dowsing, your conscious mind, is focused on the dowsing instrument, waiting for an indication you've located the desired result. That's what the L rods are for. When we're walking across the field, it's awful hard to maintain what we call a state of prayer. Dowsers do this automatically. Brainwave studies in dowsers have determined they are in a high beta state, alpha state, theta state, and delta, all four at the same time while walking. TM and Zen meditation cannot do this. They cannot. A dowser does it automatically without even knowing it. You're tightly focused on those, say, the L rods, then coat hangers. I saw this happen at Karat, Thailand. I was visiting, I was temporary duty there. A buddy of mine worked in the POL, petroleum oil lubricant section, POL. They had the oil tanks and gas tanks over here, and over at the pumps, they had a leak in the line underground between them. Our glorious lieutenant had the drawings. They're digging, can't find the pipeline. They dig and they dig and they dig, no pipeline. This army sergeant is visiting his buddy, his brother, who's a sergeant in charge of the work detail. And he says, "Lieutenant, I can find a pipeline for you." And the lieutenant says, "Well, we got the plans."
Yeah.
And he says, "It's not there." And he says, "I bet you a case of scotch I can find that pipeline, that I can find the leak, let alone the pipeline." The lieutenant says, "All right, you're on." So he tells his brother, he says, "Go over to the barracks and get me a couple of coat hangers." Well, this guy was doing dowsing in Vietnam, locating Viet Cong tunnels. He used coat hangers. So they got him, cut him, bent him. He's walking along and bang, they cross. He says, "Okay," he puts the mark on the ground. He comes in from another angle, bang, they cross. He puts the mark across it, and he says, "There." And he steps over to the side. Now this I didn't know. He's holding one rod. And he says, 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet. Is it less than 10 feet? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay. Greater than 5 feet? No. Yeah, I see it went yes. He says, "Is it between 5 and 10? Okay. 6? No. 7? No. 8? Yes." He says, "It's 8 feet down right there." And the lieutenant says, "You're crazy." He says, "Dig." 8 feet down, they found the leak. I got a bottle of scotch out of that one. Okay. Dowsing is a form of prayer. As to how it works, there's all kinds of theories and even more theories, and I have mine. It's the unconscious mind can detect energy shifts and radiation that the idiot mind, the eyeballs, can't see, taste, touch, or feel. The unconscious mind has to use the instrument to get my attention, to let me know what it's found. It's not electromagnetic energy the way everybody tells you. I don't care what they say. You all know what a PVC pipe is. Well, we had one in the yard on a neighbor. It does not have gas or water or anything else in it. It was buried. He saw where it went down, but he didn't know where it went. He was trying to find it. So I took my L rods and I walked out and I said, "It's there." We went down, it's there. Now this thing is empty. PVC pipe don't radiate a lot of electromagnetic energy, I don't care what anybody says. So it's not. What it is, the unconscious mind can't sense these things. Now, it does have energy. It's made of energy. But it's the kind of energy our instruments can't detect. But this instrument can. So, well, let's face it. Before volt came about, they really didn't know what electric current was. They didn't have instruments detect it. They could see it running down from the sky down to the ground, burning things up every once in a while, called lightning bolts. Anyway, back to this stuff.